Hello farmers and welcome back to American Falls. Well, I made it through the month of June, just doing contracts, and I did a little bit more than what you saw I was going to do at the end of the last episode, like I always tend to do. We did get up to $264,000 by doing some contracts, fertilizing and plowing only. I did not do any harvesting contracts. No new harvesting contracts came up. Again, I'm looking for one that will bring the grain down to the grain mill because I'm kind of interested to see, because I don't remember, do I get all the grain from contracts if it goes to the mill that we own, or do I just get the extra? I think we're just going to get just the extra, but I want to try it out again just to see. So while contracts were going on, I've been kind of doing the farm manager kind of thing, just going around and looking at the map. What land do I want to buy next? Should I buy land next? So I get a tractor next? And I changed my mind like 13 times. And then I finally decided on to buy some land until I was getting ready to go to bed. And this is why I brought you back. Yeah, so I was going to buy some land, but plans have changed. So we were looking at buying the Fendt 900, right? So if we go into the store, yeah, this is what I was kind of looking at, the Fendt 900. And I was kind of mulling over, how much horsepower do I want to go with right at the begin with? Would it be worth waiting till I get enough money to get the, 326? I was taking the 55 horsepower. But of course, this store has changed my mind on what we're going to do. It's not the Fendt 900 that's for sale. It's a Fendt 1000 for sale for only $157, 52% off. It's a little bit more horsepower than what I think we need here in the farm. The current status of the Fendt that we're getting is at 396 horsepower, so much more than what we need. But I'm perfectly happy with that. I am going to change the wheel setup. So first of all, let's go to BKTs. And we're going to go to not just wheel weights. I want... Ooh, can I not get wide tires and weights with the BK? I can on the 900. All right, how about the Michelin? Well, can we get Michelin wide tires and weights? We can go with the Michelin wide tires and weights. We can do that. So that brings the price up to $163,037, which is a lot cheaper than the 900 and the amount of horsepower we're going to get. I did not see how much hours are on this, but who cares? I think am I all set what we want to do here? Yep, we are now. So now we have ourselves a tractor. Well, we have ourselves a tractor to begin with. How many hours on it? 34.7 hours. So it's not too bad. It's going to get the job done. That's for darn sure. And we can always trade it in the future and, of course, change out for something else. But since money-wise, we're kind of a little stingy at what we're trying to do, this tractor is going to help out the farm quite a bit moving forward. With that being said, though, now I can go to bed. And now I can kind of focus on, looking at some land. And maybe by the time it's ready for harvest, maybe I'll have the money to buy the land I was looking at. We're still up with $100,000 in the bank account, so that's pretty darn good. We're actually going to wake up at 6 a.m. It's the middle of summer, so I'm assuming the sun's going to be up by then. The earlier I wake up, the sooner I can get those contracts before they disappear, because I'm doing 1 day per month. So I want to make sure I get the contracts as soon as they're available to us. Let's jump right in, and I see a lot of contracts piling up. $23,000 for fertilizing. I'll take that, and I'll take that one as well. Okay, they're still there. They didn't go anywhere. Harvesting contracts, plowing contracts I would look at, $4,000. All right, what do we got here? That's going to seed production, agrograin, falls grain. So nothing going to the grain mill. It is called the grain mill, correct? Is that even considered a sell point anymore after I bought it? Well, there's the grain mill. It's still there. So currently nothing going there. Well, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah, the grain mill is right there. That's what it's called. Just want to be sure about that. Let me just double check the contracts, make sure I didn't misread anything. And sometimes you got to give the contracts a cycle through in a minute or two when you restart a day. Agrograin, falls grain. So nothing going to the grain mill, so I can test it out on. That's all right. So we got 2 contracts to do. Any other contracts that are worthwhile? Some cultivating jobs I could take on, but I think we're all set. So let's go ahead and we'll get a worker started on doing the harvest. So we need the Valtra for that. And we're going to get started on, because now both of our fields should be ready for harvest this month. I say should be. The wheat field we know is ready because that was ready last month. If we switch over to ready for harvest, well, that is ready for harvest. And of course, our oat field is ready for harvest. We are going to put that into a swath because I do plan on baling that stuff and selling the bales. Yeah, we'll probably end up selling the bales. So if you're wondering, I am looking at 2 lots of land to potentially buy. Of course, now I don't have the money to do so. Oh yeah, farmland, that's where I need to be. So field number 61, or lot number 61. The one thing I was looking at was, when I was questioning what land to buy, is expected yield potential on that lot of land. That is 115% yield potential, which is pretty darn good. The cost of the field is $273. We were at what, $250? I think we're at $250 or $260. So I almost had enough money to buy this. The only issue with this field this season, currently there is cotton in the field. Of course, I don't have anything for cotton, and leasing the cotton module harvester, the case one, is around 25 grand. And I didn't know if I was going to make 25 grand off of cotton this year for doing that. So I could either buy the lot of land and just say heck with the cotton and delete it, meaning plow over it, or lease the cotton module harvester and harvest it, and hopefully I get my money back. I think it would have been a net zero gain on that, possibly. The next field I'm looking at, possibly looking at to buy, is lot number 59. 111% expected yield off of that lot. Currently, there is flax in that field. I cannot make flour or anything out of that. I don't think I can even feed it to the animals in any cases, so that would be just a direct sale. That lot of land is 170, so yeah, we'll have to see. But those are the 2 I am currently looking at. Well, let's go ahead and get a worker going here. Let's open this up. We'll top off our fertilizer spreader. Number 49. That should be in the upper right-hand corner, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's 47. Oh, 47, 49. Wait, am I doing... Those are the 2 I took? All right, so they're both right up here. That's fine. Oh, and I should be feeding the birds first thing. They're not... They should be fine. I fed them, when I say yesterday morning, the month before. Always feed them in the morning. But they should be good for a little while. I mean, I could take the Landini, come over and top them off and be done with it. But I'll remember to do it later, right? We'll see if I can remember to do so. Alright, so it doesn't matter which field I work in first, or set a worker off in first. Got to start bringing that money back in. So the reason why I was, at the end of last episode, I'm like, yeah, we're saving up to buy the tractor. I kind of was changing my mind in between episodes just because I was thinking, well, do I need the tractor for the rest of this year currently? I think it would be more beneficial if I go ahead and buy some land that's ready for harvest and I get the money out the field, because I didn't really need currently the bigger tractor to do any field work, I didn't think. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and spend the money on the field and get some profit off of it. And by the time I do need the tractor that I was looking to buy, I'll probably definitely need it by then. So, kind of like on Goldcrest Valley, the store changed my mind. And I guess in a way, we got the same brand tractor I was looking at. And we got to step up. Alright, so here is our Fendt. And the reason why we're down here first is, well, we're doing a harvest today. So I do need myself a trailer. Oh yeah, what's in the store this morning? Anything? Nothing of interest. If there was a trailer there, that would have been kind of cool. We are just leasing one. And I don't think we're going to have that much grain. I think we'll just stick with the Kloss. And the extension. Wait, do we want the extension on it? Like I said, we're just leasing it. That'll be 22,500 liters. Let's go ahead and lease it for $1,000. Yeah, that's fine. Repair the tractor. Well, since we're only hauling grain around, I'm not going to be too worried about it. Oh, the store is not open yet. I'm locked in. Okay. Store is open till 8. I mean, I could use super strength, pick it up, and get it over the top. But let me go ahead and advance time a little bit. Meanwhile, while I'm advancing time, let me just double check on the contracts, because I do have room to take another one, and I don't want these to go by quickly. And the gate should open up at 8 a.m. And we can actually get to harvesting ourselves here. All right, put that back down to ×2, and I'll just quickly double check on the contracts. Yeah, we're all set. The cultivating jobs are a little tempting, but yeah, where we currently are here on American Falls, Unless it's 5 digits, I'm not too interested in leasing equipment for doing contracts. And besides, I'm going to have a busy day here already. Do I want to start with the oats or do I want to start with the wheat? Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and we'll just go up to the top and we'll start with the oats. That way we don't have to go that far with our combine. So that is our wheat field to the left that we'll be harvesting later on. Our grass field. Oh, our grass field also, yeah, it's July. Our grass field is going to be ready for harvest as well. Yeah, busy, busy month. I was also contemplating with the extra cash, I could also possibly buy the sheep farm. Because we got the grass field, and maybe what I could do, because since our fermenting silo cannot process as much grass as we're bringing in before it's, going to be ready by the end of the season, we could take the third cut of grass and just make like hay bales, and we can feed the sheep with the hay bales. I don't know if the sheep pens here take hay and or grass, or is it just grass? I have no idea. Not a clue. We'll park that there. Yep, that's good enough right there. Let's see, our combine. We will go ahead and repair this, because that is going to be kind of crucial for us. I don't know if I'm in the work zone or not of that toolbox. Alright. Condition is kind of terrible. 4,000 to repair it. I am running a mod that reduces repair costs on vehicles. So that's why it's not too expensive. And here is our matching header. And I don't know if the header is repaired or not. I can't remember if I did that or not. So let's go ahead and make sure that is repaired, because we are harvesting with it. Yep. We can definitely afford the $270 to repair. I probably would have lost that much in crop if I didn't repair it. And I probably don't need it, but we've already paid for the fuel, so let's come over here and top this off with some fuel as well. Now here's the sad part. I can't remember last year when I harvested the sorghum out of this field. Did I use this combine? Or did I think I leased one, did I not? Oh, and I think I used all the fuel that was in that tank. That's fine. I don't think I had this combine by then. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Cannot recall what combine I used. I know we didn't have the header. We just bought this header in the springtime. Okay, let's spin around so the header is pointed in that direction. Because that way I can get a headland done. I won't be constantly pointing into the field. Or sorry, going out into the road. Here, let me put my beacons on for you so you guys can see me a little bit better. Trailer's leased, so we can run into that. But I mean, this is my combine. Let's not try to damage it more. Not that running into things with your equipment actually damages it. Although that would be kind of a cool concept coming into a farming simulator if running into things would damage your equipment. Alright, let's fold up the header. Now let's come into here and enable straw swath. And there we go. We are harvesting our oats. All the oats, of course, will be going down to the grain mill to be processed into flour. Most of the wheat will be going down to the grain mill to be processed into flour. We will keep some of the wheat around to keep the birds fed, which, by the way, they need, is it like 8,000 liters of feed per season? So they don't need a whole lot. So it is an interesting setup that we do have, but if you were to look at the case header and the New Holland header in the shop, it's the same exact header. It's just the paint scheme and the decals that are on the header itself. But hey, we got it all used, so I'm not going to complain at all. So I was actually expecting, just before I went to bed at the end of last month and waking up in the morning of July, I'm like, okay, this is how the episode's going to begin, Peanut. We're gonna start the morning of July, welcome the viewers to the episode, and we're going to buy ourselves a field. Let me check the store before I go to bed to see what's popped up throughout the day. Oh, there's a Fendt 1000 sitting in the shop for $100,000 less than what you wanted to buy the 900 for. All right, change of plans. But the one thing about the flax field that we're looking at, that won't be ready for harvest for a couple more months. And since it's the fields, I don't want to say only 170,000. I think it's 170,000. I looked at so many fields now, I kind of forgot the price, but you just saw it a little while ago. I think we can get up to 70,000 or another 80,000 in the bank account by then. We'll see how we get there. Of course, we're not selling anything. All that money's going to come through by doing contracts. Because everything that we are producing on the farm, everything's not sold until the holiday season. Right around Christmas time, late December, early January. I will say, when I was looking at a lot of fields, I'm like, that's a nice size field. Okay, we can kind of afford that. But then when I started looking at the expected yield off the field, or at least off that land, you know, it was all like low 90s, you know, nothing as fabulous as we got our two fields over here that are in, you know, around 110%. So now we got ourselves our tractor. Now we can definitely look at just saving up to buy more lots of land. I think for the time being, we'll keep on leasing equipment until I feel comfortable that we have enough fields to where we can just start working in our own fields and make money that way, instead of me having to do a couple of hours of contracts off camera, which I don't mind doing here too much after doing a lot of tree cutting on Oceanside Forest, just sending off workers to plow a field or fertilize a field while I go around the map and kind of look at, okay, how do I want to run this farm here in the future? What's the best process? So while workers are getting job done, making me money, I can go around and figure out on the farm what is the best way for us to make money in the future. That's why I was switching over, thinking of, you know, buying land first, because yeah, the new tractor that we were going to buy, I basically just need that to plant currently. Our Landini kind of struggles with the Pronto, the 6-meter wide drill. Now, currently we only have two fields that we're, you know, got crop in that we're drilling into. But it, you know, it takes a little while. This field here alone, and the other field, I think combining may take me like 2 hours to drill with a Pronto. And if we're going to expand on here, that just means more hours of drilling. But now with the 1000, we can lease the Avatar, which is a 12-meter wide drill. And we'll get the field done really quick. Both fields, as a matter of fact. I'm wondering on this field right here, this part of the field where it angles, I'm wondering if we're going to have a little problem getting the harvest on that piece right there. Might be questionable, but I think it's going to be okay. And as I mentioned, in the future, as we move along and the money is coming in decently, and we don't desperately need other farming stuff, we can always trade in a lot of this used stuff that we bought and buy a different brand. Like the combine. I don't need a bigger combine, but if we look at the amount of hours that are on the combine, as for Farming Simulator goes, that's a lot of hours on it. Is this going to need repair more and more often? Just want to make sure all the straw stays on our lot of land, because if it goes on someone else's, I won't be able to pick it on up. Let's go ahead and tab into our 1,000. And now we shouldn't struggle hauling the grain around either. Landini did all right. But now the 1,000 is going to become the workhorse. I mean, the Landini will probably still do the plowing contracts. The Valtra, of course, will stick to the fertilizing contracts. And the 1,000 will probably just sit around just to do the bigger contracts. Expected yield is 95% out of 100. Yeah, so I don't roll, I don't mulch. That's where we're losing the last 5%. Apparently my worker is done. Up here, did you complete the contract? You certainly did. Let's collect on that. We'll leave the combine running for just a moment. And Field 49 is straight up ahead of us. I don't think there's a river going through here. So let's drive through the woods. There's a collectible right there if you're looking for him. All right, let's go ahead and get ourselves another worker, shall we? Create job. And yes, I would use Courseplay. I trust Courseplay more than the in-game workers. And create a job, although Courseplay occasionally can have its problems, but it could be something I'm doing as well. But overall, I trust the Courseplay worker more. There we go, you should be all set. Let's get back into the combine. There we go. Now we're back over $100,000 in the bank account. I probably should also look at how much does flax sell for, how much cotton sells for. Am I going to get my money's worth off those fields? Of course, if I do buy those fields, we'll have to do the same thing like we did to the wheat field last season when we bought it. We'll have to get in there, soil sample it. If the crop is still growing, of course, we'll fertilize it and put lime down, which you can do with precision farming. I think with the base game, which I pretty much farm all the time now with precision farming on, I still think in the base game that you can only put lime down on a bare field. You can't do it if there's a crop that has germinated and growing. I should turn the beacons off on the combine. Does feel just a little bit funny every time I say this, but I get so used to the Honeybee 60-foot header. When I use a 45-foot header, it just seems such a rather small header, but it's a 45-foot header, which I remember when I first started playing the game, a 45-foot header wasn't even in the game. I think the 40-foot header was the biggest, and not until... may not have been until FS17. I think in 15, the 45-foot header was a mod, I think. It's been too long to remember that far back. But yeah, I think when the 45-footer came along in FS17, I thought, man, this header is great. Look at the size of this thing. Now that I use a 60-foot header, more often than not on most of my series, if it seems fit, that's what we use. I don't think I'll be using the 60-foot header here, but then again, I don't own that many fields yet currently. Once we expand more and more here, who knows, I may throw a 60-foot header on. Although this combine here, yeah, I don't think a 60-foot header would work out too well. I don't think the auger is long enough to get further out than what the header is. And eventually I think I will trade this combine in for a John Deere, because I really haven't used a full-size John Deere combine at all in a very long time. We used a small one on Solyndra. I'm trying to think if I had one for a short time on No Man's Land, but I think I was running a Fendt. I think at the end, was I running 2 combines at the end of that series? I may have been. But this yield is looking pretty good. I don't know what the ratio of oats to flour is in the grain mill. But it is what it is. Unlike, as we saw, sorghum, we actually got more flour than the sorghum that we put in, which is good because, you know, flour is worth more than all the crops that we put in. So we are going to lease a baler. Bale up all this straw. I don't think I'm going to keep any of it. I may just sell it directly now if the price isn't that bad, or just wait until December, but since I don't have a baling trailer, probably just best if I pick up the bales and sell it right away. That way I don't have to lease a trailer again to sell them in the wintertime, because the price difference is not going to be that much where I'm going to benefit selling then. Some people may say, well, you can get $20 more per 1,000 liters of straw in the winter than you can now, which is true, but that means I got to lease a trailer again, which is going to cost me a lot of money. I don't think it's going to help me out at all. What I want to do is let's get back over to our Fendt 1000. Let's unload the combine, and I'll set a worker off, just a regular in-game worker, not Courseplay. And we're going to head on down to the grain mill, drop off these oats, and we'll get the process started. Turn on our beacons on the 1000 because we're going to be going down the road. So while that's filling on up, let's just have a quick look at the straw prices. Oh, I can't do that because I don't actually have any. Straw. There's the straw. Yeah, so currently the price, we'll just say, you know, mid 30s-ish. And I could get a maximum of 47. I mean, the price is about as low as it can go. 33 is the lowest, apparently. And that's currently where we are. Yeah. Okay, we're full. And we'll just hire a worker for that. Hopefully it doesn't miss any edges there because I probably didn't drive in a straight enough line. Looks like that field needs to be plowed over there to the left. And also remember, if I do need some money to buy something, we're just short. We got those greenhouses that we could always sell for 30 grand in total. Wow, this thing actually has a top speed of 39 miles an hour? Now this will be better to pull the logs out that's up by the chicken coop when I eventually get around to cutting those up. Okay, we're just going straight across. Let's hopefully no cars are coming. Now we're good. So again, we own the grain mill. Only way to use it. Can't bring contracts here unless you own it. All right, and let's get this process started. Oats. So actually we get more flour than oats as well. We'll activate that, get it going. And then we're going to be bringing some wheat in later on. Yeah, wheat, we get less flour than the amount of wheat we bring in. Barley is going to be the same way. So oats and sorghum are kind of, I guess, a good way to go for that. As for our silage, we got, well, we're almost up to 250,000. Oh, that's right, because it has been a couple months. That's going through it pretty quick. Not really, because it's ready to, the grass is ready to be cut again. So, yeah, not quite keeping up. All right, let's go back and pretty sure our combine, is moving along nicely, I would hope. And our workers should almost be done fertilizing that field at the same time we get done harvesting our field. 80% full in the grain tank. We're coming. And our grass field we limed and fertilized last time we cut it, so it's going to yield the best that it can. But we should be getting a whole bunch of contracts coming up. A lot of plowing contracts. Fertilizing contracts I'm sure will come up again. Although I think the fertilizing contracts, I think sometimes they get reset because sometimes I log back in and it seems like I fertilize those 2 fields that we're currently fertilizing. I seem to fertilize those a lot, which I don't mind. I get paid well for it. But yeah, it just seems like those contracts come up quite often, so it's almost like they can fertilize more than twice per harvest. Yeah, 60-foot header is not going to work on this combine with that auger the way it is. Because basically the header would be right where our tractor is, about halfway across, I think. But we don't need it currently. We're fine with a 45-foot header. But in the future we can kind of plan for something like that. So when I buy a John Deere combine, when we finally swap this out, which it could be like another 40 episodes, probably look for a John Deere combine that's, of course, equal or better than this combine, but also has an auger that can reach out far enough. Are we empty? I think we are empty in the combine, so... take back over the duties of harvesting because we're just about done with this field. So now that I actually got the tractor, that also changes some of my other plans because I was thinking, buy the field and we'll work our way towards the tractor of our choice. I was thinking, well, if I can't afford the tractor by the fall and one doesn't come up for sale, we'll just plant in the springtime, right? Because I'll sell a whole bunch of flour, we'll sell some silage, and by then we should have the money to buy the tractor. We can plant in the springtime. But now that we got the tractor, I can lease the drill anytime I want. So I'm thinking maybe we'll plant wheat and barley this year. And that should be in September-ish, maybe October. Because we've done sorghum, we've done oats, we're going to be doing wheat. So another field of wheat and barley. Or maybe I'll put barley in this field and put sorghum down in the field that's currently wheat. Or maybe I'll put oats down there, because not only will I get the oats, I'll get the straw as well. Maybe we'll have to wait and see how much money we get off the straw when we sell it. How many bales do we make? How much money can we make off the straw? Yeah, so now moving forward for the rest of the year, I'm definitely mostly focused on expanding to more fields. And that flax field, as I mentioned, we should be able to afford that before it's ready for harvest. I think I got another month to be able to afford that. I don't even know what flax even sells for. I don't know the average price range on Hard Economy, what flax goes for. While that's unloading there for a second, the straw, let me just go ahead and look at flax. Where is flax going to be? Oh, there's flax straw. Okay. So I will be I could make some off of that. Oh, okay. So that's like kind of like a soybean type of price. 1,112. And there is straw for flax. So maybe I should be thinking about planting some more flax. I'm going to have a row of shame, right? Yes, we're probably going to have like a little bit of row of shame here. I'm not going to leave that crop behind. I wonder if I'm going to be able to fit all this crop into the trailer. I may have to make an extra trip down, but that's fine, because the wheat field that we got to harvest next is right down by the grain mill, so I got to go that way anyways. So I can just bring the combine down there, of course, to harvest the wheat. And then I won't have that far to transport any extra if we have any. All right, one more pass. And the oat harvest will be done. And I'm thinking our worker must almost be done fertilizing that field as well. And we'll collect on that. But throughout the day, I definitely got to keep my eye open, because our other fields are ready for harvest, and I don't see those on contracts yet, at least I don't think. And I don't care how much it pays to do the contract. As long as it's going to the grain mill, I just want to accept it to see if I get the entirety of the grain or just the extra. If I get the entirety of the grain, I'll be doing every contract that has to go to the grain mill possible. Because that would just make us loads of money. Alright, let's go see if I can shove this all into the trailer. And look at that. Course play is finished, which tells me the contract, in theory, should be finished. I don't think this is all going to go in there. Let's see here. Contracts, fertilizing, 23,000, complete, collect. What else here? We got harvesting, seed production, agro grain, we buy anything, agro grain, we buy anything, falls grain. So still, still nothing coming on up. A couple small fertilizing contracts, cultivating contracts are starting to pop up. So by borrowing the equipment for this one right here, so technically this job would pay, roughly right around, $7,500, somewhere around there. Then I can go do the other contracts using this equipment here, and I'll get the full price for it. And being a big cultivator, it'll probably do those fields rather quickly. Yeah, so I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, did not take all of the crop out of the combine. But we'll take care of that in no time flat. Oh, I just want to make sure that my worker is still not sitting in the vehicle, which they are not, so that's good. So they can stay there, or the vehicle can stay there until they decide to do with it. Either bring it back to the farm or start doing other contracts. If no other good contracts come up, I may take those cultivating contracts and just get a worker going on them. Let's see here. I think I know where this road comes out. This is right next to our grass field. Yeah, definitely having this tractor with nearly 400 horsepower is making a huge difference already by just hauling the grain around. Gets up to speed rather quickly. And now we can pretty much lease, like I said, that seed drill, the Avatar seed drill, no problem. It should that should haul that around okay. And we are up to 130,000, so getting really close to being able to buy the flax field. But I do have to, lease the baling trailer once I get done harvesting our fields. So that's going to cost a little bit of cash. I'm guessing like maybe $7,000 to lease a baler and a baling trailer. Let's go park this by the wheat field, and we'll bring our combine down. Take the rest of the oats out of it and bring it on over. Do I have a place to park this? Yeah, we do. There's a road going up. I just remember there's a road going up to the railroad tracks. So I can kind of park it there. Or I could park on the grass field as well. Alright, let's leave that engine running for a moment. Let's go ahead and just whip this around. Unfold the header. Of course, I'm doing it right next to the big straw swath where the combine stopped to unload. Yeah, I'm also not a big fan of the dually wheels in the front of the combine. I'd rather have tracks on it. But hey, being our first combine, I'm not going to complain too much about it. So in a moment, we should be able to see exactly how much flour we harvested off that field. I could have reset the precision farming chart for that field each year, but we can just look into the grain mill and see how much liters of oats are in there. Of course, some has already been processed to flour, but we'll have a general idea. Or if you've been keeping track as we've been going along, then you already know. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Reverse, reverse, reverse. I don't have my beacons on. Sorry. Is there a beacon on the back of the header? No, there isn't. Okay, let's sneak between the trees here. Now I could be expanding this field a little bit after harvest season. As you see, we got, I think we own almost up to that field. I think we own a couple of these trees here. I don't know if I want to expand it or not, only because my workers are going to need some room to turn around, and with those trees being there, it might be a little bit difficult. Alright, so we'll leave the combine there, and we'll be harvesting that next time. I may get most of it done before the beginning of the next episode, but we'll finish up together. But let's get into this beauty of a tractor that we now own. And bring the rest of the oats over to the grain mill. I'll probably still use the Landini to mow the grass field. But I may use the Fendt right here to use the forage wagon to pick it on up, the grass that is. Wonder how long before I get hit by a car crossing that road with me going to the grain mill, because I'm not stopping to look. We're just gonna send it every time. Perfect. All right, let's see what we got in there, because I wasn't really keeping track. Up here. So 49, almost 50,000 liters of oats off that field. That's pretty good. Pretty darn good. And of course, the wheat I'll be bringing right on down here, but as I said, I do need to keep some of that for the birds. And I was also thinking, in the future, the birds might be gone halfway through the series, because going over every day just to give them the 600 liters or 700 liters that their feed trough can take, that does remind me I need to feed the birds, so we should go do that now while I'm on the topic of it. But in the future, we'll be having a lot of work to do on the farm, so you know, the birds are here just now just to give us something else to do. And since they're not going to be really making us that much cash or anything, right now they're just here for fun, basically. As this series is meant to be. Mostly, I hate saying fun because I have fun in most of my series. Although right now, Oceanside Forest, occasionally when I'm cutting down that many trees off camera, the fun kind of is not fully there. But when I get that challenge done, it will be an achievement for myself. Now let's go over, and they're not going to take all this feed that's in here. Yeah, they can't quite go 2 months. Alright, you were just there a second ago. Yeah, so if I were to go to bed right now and wake up next morning before I fed them, they would be out of food. As we saw a couple episodes ago where we woke up and they had no food and their health was getting... It may have actually been at 0. But I don't remember seeing notifications saying the birds need to be fed. So that's why I'm going to be feeding them every month. Let me go ahead and put this small itty bitty trailer away. Just got to back up slowly, being a small trailer. That thing turns really, really quick. I'm already overcorrecting for it. There we go. So we'll keep the Landini there for now. So not a bad start to the month of July. Well, actually, it was in June when we bought the tractor, but not a bad episode, I guess I'll say. We got ourselves a beautiful tractor here. Still a Fendt, just not the 900. It's a 1000, and we got it for half off. So yeah, not going to complain about that. Nearly 400 horsepower, so that's going to do mostly everything that we need it for here on the farm moving forward. Unless I get myself a really huge field and merge them together, I don't see myself going the bigger equipment like we're using in the Oceanside Forest. But you never know. Never know where I'm going to go in this series. Just going to kind of take it a handful of episodes at a time. And as I saw before I started recording this episode, plans can change rather quickly. So now we're just saving up now for, I guess the flax field is what I'm going to shoot for. And just to refresh my memory, along with yours as well, I think it's 170. Yeah, it is 170. 170,736. So we're not that far off from being able to buy that. And being mid-season, the contracts are there. It's just a matter of how picky do I want to be now. In the beginning of the series, I was taking about everything, wasn't I? Now I'm getting a little bit more picky as we move along. But yeah, I think we're doing just fine. Just gonna be a busy month. Got the grass field still to go. The oat field is done. Wheat field definitely needs to be harvested this month because this is the last month for wheat to be harvested before it withers. So gotta take care of it, but it shouldn't take us too long to get that done. And then we'll move on to the grass field. But that's gonna do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you again right here in American Falls. But until then, have a good one.